Okay, yeah, so starting our class today using 2 blocks, a strap, and a ball. And we'll take the strap and the ball with us as we come down to lay on our backs. And I'm just going to leave the blocks at the top of my mat for later. Dust the dog hair off my mat. And make my way down. So once you make your way onto your mat, just keeping your knees bent, and then just take a moment to take your shoulder blades down the spine, lengthening through the neck here. Got the strap close to hand, but you don't need it just yet. And then you can take the arms out into a T, palms open towards the ceiling. Chin towards the ceiling as well, just starting with a few breaths here. Inhaling through the nose and just filling up the belly. Just reconnecting with the body and the breath. Starting to slow the breath down. Opening the neck as much as you can here. We have a tendency to drop our chins down or tuck our chins just from our daily lives. So see if you can just open that up a little bit. And if you're someone who likes a little bit more movement rather than stillness, walking the feet open as wide as the mat and just taking your knees gently from side to side. So as you connect with your breath, just dropping the knees from one side and then the other. I like to try to pair this with the breath. So for the whole inhale, the knees come all the way to one side, and the whole exhale, they come to the other. And just relaxing the jaw, even parting the mouth slightly, relaxing the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Starting to invite the neck here, so if you're adding that movement in, the neck is going the opposite direction of the knees. So taking your ear down to one side and then the other. We'll just go for one more time on each side, nice and slowly. Bringing it all back to the center when you're ready. Bringing those feet back in line with the knees and the hips. And we'll take the strap, so hopefully the ball doesn't go away. Take the strap around your right foot, just the ball of your right foot, and extend that leg long up towards the ceiling. But allow the leg to relax into the strap. So we're not trying to get the leg up to the ceiling, rather than you're trying to find a straight leg. Relax the shoulders if you can, relax the elbows down. There, and allow the leg to be nice and heavy. Just see how that feels, breathing into the leg here. And we'll start to play with a bit of rotation. So as you pull on the center strap, allow the outside strap to relax. So we're sickling the ankle inward, so you can see the inside of your foot. Pinky toe edge is pointing away from you. And then opposite thing, pulling the other strap in, bringing it back to neutral position. And just going back and forth. And one more time. This time with the pinky toe pointing away, drop the opposite leg down and away and take this leg across your body. So the right leg's coming across over to the left slightly. Pointing that pinky toe away. And if you're looking to add a little more tension, why would you? But if you are looking to add some, add that by pointing or pulling the strap towards the body. Breathing into the outer edge of the leg here, or wherever you might be feeling tension. Notice if you're squeezing the leg and try to relax. We'll hold for one more breath here. Start to take the leg back to center. Find neutral with the ankle again, and then take the leg open to the other side. So you can do this two ways, with a bent knee or with a straight leg. Some people find bending the knee makes it just a little bit easier to get into the pose. Stay for a couple of breaths, so even play with it. If you find the straight leg is too hard to hold up or it just feels uncomfortable, try bending the knee a little bit, or a lot. Nice, staying for one more breath here. And gently start to bring it back to center. As you take it to center, we'll loosen the grip on the straps, and we're just going to circle the leg a little bit. So you might like to bend the opposite leg again just to get a little more stability. Circling with the leg, and the strap is just there to guide you. So just lubricating this hip joint. But also firing up the core here as we try to keep those hips stable. Smaller circles are a little easier. So starting off smaller and then making your way to bigger circles for balance. Switching direction when it feels comfortable. Staying with that breath, we'll go for 2 more big circles or small circles. And bringing it back to center when it's ready to come back to center, and then switch legs. So I like to just put my foot in the strap and take the other foot out. So finding that hamstring stretch on this side, so the leg finds its straight position, and that might be somewhere near the ground, and that's okay. See if you can relax those shoulders again. And then allow the leg to become nice and heavy here. The strap is doing all the work. Nice big inhale, exhale. Perhaps finding a little length here, maybe you can tighten up on the strap a little bit, maybe not. And then we'll start to play with the ankle here, stretching the ankle away, pressing that pinky toe edge away, and then bringing it back. So you might find that stretch in the top of the foot, you might not. I'll just try that 2 more times, rocking it forwards and backwards. And when you find that last one, pointing the pinky toe away from the body, we're going to drop that other leg and take this leg across. So how far you come is up to you, perhaps a couple of inches, perhaps a few feet. And then finding that place where you can hold and breathe into it. So not the most, but not the most tension. Somewhere in between. Staying for just one more breath. Softening through the face. Let's take it back to center. And then choosing whether you're going to bend the knee or just drop the leg open to the left. I'm hearing a cat again, but you all look muted. I don't know where it's coming from. Staying for a couple breaths here. It's tripping me out. We'll bring it back to center. And then we'll find those circles on this leg. So loosen up your slack in the strap here. And then again, starting small, so we're anchoring down through that opposite foot or the opposite heel, whatever you choose, bent knee or straight leg. Starting small with the circles, feeling your core engaged to stabilize. Lubricating that hip joint, so not going too fast. Finding a nice slow pace where you're actually engaging the stabilizers. Adding some challenge if it feels comfortable. They're going a little bigger and a little slower, and switching direction when it feels right. Go for 2 more on this side. Stay with that breath connection, exhaling when it's tricky. And releasing that leg, release the strap, put it off to the side, take those knees into the chest, give them a squeeze. Bring the forehead up to the knees, just lengthening the back body. And releasing, take the right ankle over the left knee, coming into figure 4 position. And I just thought we'd bring the ball in since it's after a long weekend. Feels like a good time to release the hips. We'll bring that ball just under the glutes, above the sits bone, and below the hip bone. So you're not meeting bone with the ball, and then we're finding that U shape as you rock your hips from side to side. So you can take it as close to the tailbone as possible, see how that feels, and then roll it out to the outer edge, as far out as possible. If it's too painful, see if you can kind of, well, it shouldn't be painful, but if you can lighten the weight of your hips a little bit. And of course, if it's too much today, just let it go. You don't have to use the ball. You can just stay in this figure 4 position. We'll go for 1 more rock if you're staying with it. And then you'll find that place to hold. So wherever feels good, a good amount of tension for you, or it's not painful, it's subtly uncomfortable, but bearable, or breathe into it. For me, it tends to always be the outer edge, right in the fascia. See if you can stay for 2 more breaths, perhaps opening the arms up to the side for a little bit of a chest opening. We won't stay too long. Let's release that ball and let the hip come back down to the ground. Just see how that feels. And then keeping your legs in this position, I'm just holding the ball so it doesn't roll away. Let the legs fall to the left. So your right foot that's on top is going to try to reach the ground. You're coming into a subtle twist here as everything comes over to the left. So your right knee will be still in the air, still in that figure 4 position. You might even use that left arm and grab onto your right ankle just to hold it in place. And if that doesn't work or you can't reach, just staying as you are and just stay like this for a couple of breaths. We'll bring those legs back to center. And if you have the ability to grab onto below the left thigh, just clasping there and bringing the legs toward the body for 1 more breath. Otherwise, just staying with the feet on the ground. And we'll release that and switch sides. So left ankle over right knee this time. Adjusting as you need to, and then we'll take that ball to the left glute. Just above the sit bone, below the hip bone. And then you'll start to rock from side to side, slowly rolling it out. See if you can stay with your breath here, moving slowly. One side's always a little more tender than the other. Knowing you can stop this at any time, you do not have to use the ball. Some people love it, some people do not. So listen to your body. And then we'll come to find that place to rest, resting in the tension. Holding for a couple breaths. And when you've had enough of that, release the ball. We're done with the ball for today, so you can just let that roll away. Place your hands down by your hips and let your legs fall over to the right. So a bit of a twist here. Trying to keep that ankle kind of wedged onto the knee to keep it in place. And then again, you can grab onto that opposite ankle if you can reach it. If not, you could grab onto the knee and kind of push the knee away. Or just let your legs fall however they fall and stay for a couple of breaths. Option to look in the opposite direction. And we'll bring it back to center when you're ready. So bringing those legs back in. You can stay as they are or clasp behind the right thigh this time and gently bring them towards the body. Trying to keep the hips on the ground, even shimmying the hips away if you need to. Just one big breath here. And releasing with that exhale. We'll place the feet on the mat, coming into a few bridge rolls before we move out of this position. Flatten out your feet, widen the toes. When you're ready, take a nice big inhale, expand through the belly. And as you exhale, start to tuck your tailbone under, press into your heels and start to lift the hips. See if you need to adjust your feet at all, perhaps sliding them a little further away. Inhale to roll it back down. Let it come all the way down, tilt the pelvis away, and then exhale as you scoop the pelvis up, squeeze the glutes and lift. Keeping those knees in line with the hip bones. Inhale as you slowly lower down, one vertebrae at a time. Pressing the tailbone into the mat, and then as you exhale, scooping the tailbone under and lifting. Exhale all the air out as you reach the top. Let the belly button come flat at one point. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Bring it all the way back down. We'll go for 2 more at your own pace. Nice pace, everyone. Nice and steady. Keep with that inhale. Rock the pelvis away and then rock it inwards. Exhale, squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Let all that air out. Hold it at the top. You can either hold it here or I invite you to try a few pulses at the top here. So soften the glutes. Let them lower down a couple inches. Squeeze it back to the top. Couple inches, soften the glutes. Squeeze it to the top. 2 more. Soften. Squeeze and press. Last one. Soften. Squeeze and press. And release. Straighten out the legs. Bring the arms above the head. Point the toes and take a nice big stretch here. All right, roll onto your right side and press yourself up to seated. Come to sit on your mat for a moment here. You're sitting up nice and tall. We'll just take a side body stretch before we come into a little bit of boat pose. Stretching to one side and then the other. We'll do that one more time on each side, just flowing over. Awesome. Come to sit upright. I'm going to take one of my blocks. I like to use blocks for this. Just one block in the hands. Send the legs out in front of you, and you can keep a soft bend to the knees. We're going to row a little bit. So how far you go back is up to you. Just staying with your breath. So as you inhale, bring the blocks forward. Scoop it over to one side, out to the right side of your right ankle. Bring it all the way over and in. So you're scooping, leaning back, and rowing. Finding that full twist as you bring it back. Nice. Try to keep the chest open, so don't go as far back as the rounding of the shoulders comes, if that makes sense. So see if you can keep the chest open. We'll do one more on each side. Gonna hold that block at the top. Lean back slightly, open up through the chest, relax the shoulders back, stare forward. So you can stay like this, or you can lift one foot and the other. Flare the toes open, gives you something fun to look at. Spread those toes. Squeeze the legs together and release. Release the block, let yourself just lean forward over your knees. Awesome, we'll cross the legs and come to hands and knees. And leave your blocks at the top of the mat. Stretch back into a child's pose. Take your toes together, let the sit bones come back. As you inhale, bring it all back up. Shoulders over the hands. Knees in line with the hips. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, coming up through baby cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes and find downward facing dog. Stretch it all back. Soft bend to the knees. Fingertips are spread nice and wide. Say hello to the backs of your legs. Think about pressing your chest towards your thighs and pointing the sit bones up towards the ceiling. And often that means bending the knees. And then pedal out one heel and then the other. Try to lighten the load on the wrists and bring the weight into the heels or into the hips, into the back body and off the wrist as much as you can. Bring those legs to stillness, gaze forward, bend the knees, and step to the top of your mat. As you inhale, find a flat back, straighten the legs and gaze at the top. As you exhale, fold forward, soften the knees, soften the back, just leaning forward. Inhale once more, flat back, straight legs. Exhale, folding forward again, bending the knees. Bend the knees deeply and stand up to the top. Exhale the hands down through center. Inhale, coming up the top of the mat, reach up. Exhale, sit back into a chair. So send those sit bones back. Inhale, reach all the way up, finding tippy toe. Exhale, sit back into chair once more. Staying here, lean into the left leg. See if you can tap the right leg out and bring it back in. Shift to the right leg. Tap the left leg out. Whew. Bring it all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Send your right leg back for low lunge. So drop that right knee. And if you like to use your blocks here, just hold on to those. Open up through the chest and stare forward. Nice big breath here as you try to relax the hips. Gonna lean into that right block, open up the left arm. So you're twisting towards that knee. Exhale, take the left arm down to your left block. Send it out over to the left just a little bit and open up the right arm. Exhale, place your hand back on your block. Send the hips back for a hamstring stretch in the front. Point those toes. I'm going to take my blocks a little taller here and gently bowing forward slightly. Walk it back into your low lunge. Send those hips forward once more. Release your blocks and find your half plank position. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, send those toes back, shoulders back, baby cobra. Reach forward with the crown of your head. Exhale, downward facing dog. Gaze forward, bend your knees, step to the top. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees deeply and stand to the top of your mat. Exhale, hands down through center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit back into chair. So draw those hands down through center. Send those hip bones back. Lean into the left foot. Tap the right toe up. Lean into the right leg. Tap the left foot out. Come all the way up to the tippy toes. Exhale. One more time. Sit back into that chair. Trying for the tap on one side. The tap's not happening, that's okay. Just stay in the chair. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, dive forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Send that left leg back this time for low plank. Low lunge. There we go. Use those blocks to let the hips settle down. Open up to the chest and draw those shoulder blades back. Stay for a couple of breaths here. As you exhale, send the, we forgot something. Lean into the right block here, open up. So you can walk that right block a little further away from your body, open the left arm up. And then switch sides, we're gonna lean into the left block. I'm gonna take it a little way away from my hip and twist to the right. Exhale, press into both blocks and then send the hips back for the hamstring stretch. Point the toes towards the ceiling and you can use those blocks to gently bow towards the leg in front of you. Soften through that kneecap there if you can. And then let's take it forward for a low lunge. Release those blocks. Come back into your low plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Gaze forward, bend the knees, step to the top. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, bring those hands down through center. Standing with your feet hip width distance apart. Go into your left foot. We're going to send the right leg back and gently tilt forward, gazing at the floor in front of you. You can take those arms up to the side and come into that warrior three all the way, or you can just tilt forward to begin. As you exhale, bring it all back up. Bring the knee all the way up to the chest. Hold on to that knee. Exhale, we're going to try it one more time. Release the knee, arms out into airplane. Warrior three. You want to try bringing that knee all the way through once more. Let's go for it. Releasing that knee. Let's go right into the other side. So shift the weight into the right foot. Just start to kick that left heel back. So this just can be a little bit of a tilt forward, or you can go all the way into your warrior three, whatever you're feeling you have more balance for today. As you exhale, bring the knee all the way through, but nice and slowly. Exhale as that knee comes up. Inhale as you soar once more. Going for one more try with that knee. Exhale. Give it a little squeeze and release. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Send that right leg back for high lunge. Sweep those arms up. Exhale the hands down through center. Holding here for a breath. Using the balance we were just playing with here, we're going to switch it up a little bit. Bring the hands out in front of you. And then coming into a bit of a twist here if you like. So this is option one. Option two is just to open the left arm over to the left as you reach the right arm forward. Bring it back to center, nice and slowly. And you can try that 2 more times. Moving slowly, keeping those legs nice and engaged and strong. You don't have to go far with the arms either. It can just be a little open with the elbow and bring it back. Stay with that exhale. Last one if you're going for it. Otherwise, just staying in your high lunge. Whew. This fire's getting warm. Bring it back to center. And then let's fly one more time. Warrior three. So I'm going to take a little step back forward, or a little step forward with my back leg. Arms open. Then I'm going to soar straight in the front leg. A little bit of a tilt forward, gazing out in front of you. And then just stepping to the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, diving forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale as you fold. Left leg back for your high lunge this time. Sweep those arms up. Exhale the hands down through center. Again, you can just stay here, breathe if balance is not happening today. Otherwise, if you'd like to join in with the twisting, bringing those hands up right out in front of you. And this time the right arm is going to go open up. So again, if you have shoulder issues, you can just open the elbow to the side and bring it back. Or you can open out all the way, reaching forward and reaching back. Exhale as you close it back up. And stay with that breath if you want to try for 2 more. Core is nice and strong, moving slowly. Nice balance, everyone. Last one. Exhale as it closes back up. Hands come back to center. One more chance for warrior three. So I'm going to take a baby step forward with that back foot. I'm going to open up the arms, straighten up my front leg, kick back through my back heel. Stay for a breath. Play with the balance a little bit. And then stepping to the top when you finished. Nice. Let's take it down to the mat. I was actually going to take it down onto the 2 blocks since we have them, sitting in a squat. So I'm going to make a little tower to sit on. And I'm also going to have my strap nearby. So first, starting in squats, you can widen the feet away and then sit down onto those blocks. I'm going to walk my feet a little bit in front of me so I can see them, elbows in front of the knees, then rising up out of the hips. So we're trying to find length in the back body, open up the chest, adjusting your legs however you need to. And just starting to slow the breath down, perhaps closing your eyes. And we'll invite the neck into this stretch here so we don't have too much stillness, heaven forbid. Release the right ear to the right shoulder. Just finding the stretch in your body, so perhaps tilting the chin forward a little bit, tilting the head back. Finding some tension on the left side of your neck and breathing into it. As you exhale, take the chin down and around, nice and slowly to the other side. And just finding the stretch on this side. Being really gentle with your neck. Relaxing those shoulders down. Exhale, take the chin down and around. One more time for each side. This time I'm going to switch it up just a little bit. As you take that right ear over the right shoulder, I'm going to point the chin over to the right. And up slightly. So trying to find the stretch in the front of the neck. See if you can relax those legs. Exhale, take it down and around. One more time, last side. This time just taking the stretch into the front of the neck a little bit if you can find it there. Left shoulder over left ear, and then tilting the head back as you point the chin to the left corner. Exhale, take it down. Dropping the chin to the chest. Inhale, bringing the chin up towards the ceiling for the last neck stretch here. Just towards the ceiling, it doesn't have to go straight up and down. And then for the fun part, just gently jutting the chin out. So you're kind of stretching the front of the neck away. My dog does this one really well. Exhale, bring it back to center. I'm going to come into a hamstring stretch. I'm going to stay on my block, so if you have tighter hips, tighter hamstrings, tighter hips, you might like to stay on your block too. If it's uncomfortable, you can come down to your mat and do this stretch. So just a regular hamstring stretch. I'm going to use my strap. I'm going to relax the other leg just out of the way a little bit in half butterfly. So yeah, if you find it's uncomfortable on the blocks, you can come down to your sits bones. And then just finding the stretch. I'm using my right leg this time. And whether you hinge forward or not, it's up to you and your body. Sometimes just pulling on the strap a little bit, opening up the chest is enough. Staying for a couple breaths here, wherever you end up or wherever you choose to be in this stretch. Perhaps as you stay here, you find a little more room, a little more space to lean forward, belly over thigh. Perhaps for you that is not the case, so just finding what your body's saying. Stay for one more breath here. And as you exhale, bring the body up. And then we'll switch sides. I think one block might be enough. Taking the strap around the ball of the left foot. sliding that heel away from the body. If you're finding tension in the back, it just means you're coming too far forward for how flexible your hamstrings are. Is you might like to just bring your body back a little bit. Staying with that breath. Inhale, exhale. Last breath, perhaps bowing forward if you've created any room to do so. Inhale, bring it all back up. And then coming off your blocks if you're still on them. And just taking those knees, or the feet out in front of you and dropping the knees from side to side. Let's just release that in the hips. See if you can get the knees to touch the ground. Just taking the time to let them fully relax to one side and then the other. Just finishing up one more on each side. And then bringing the feet back to the mat. Gently take yourself down onto the mat one last time. Bring the knees into the chest whenever you get there. And just give them a squeeze. And gently rock from side to side, just massaging up the tops of the hips. One more time on each side. Allowing your legs to rest down on the mat however you like. I'm going to do butterfly position here, but you can choose straight legs or bent knees, whatever feels good. I'm going to take my feet together, allow the knees to relax to each side. And I'm just going to gently push my feet away from my hips so I have a little more space. Sliding my shoulder blades under, taking my arms out into a T and gently pointing the chin towards the ceiling. Either taking this time to just let go of breath control and settle in, or joining me in 4 square breath or box breathing. I'm not going to fully guide you through it because everybody's breath is a different pace and I find it can be irritating to say the least. But as a general guide, inhaling for 4, holding that inhale for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding the exhale for 4. So whenever you're ready, you would inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold that exhale out for 4, and continue that for a couple sequences. Softening the jaw, relaxing the eyebrows. Perhaps going for one more sequence here. Allowing those hips to become nice and heavy. starting to bring our attention back to the space. Option to stay as you are as we close up class, or to bring yourself up to seated. Just listening to your body. I'm just going to close up the practice, and we'll see you all next week.